So you might all be shocked that I am married to the prettiest girl on the planet. She's a 10 every way possible, and I'm obviously a 6 to a 7.5, depending on the angle. Hey, the angle matters when you have a weak jawline. It just does. And there she is. Like, let's give her a round of applause. Yeah. I still have people come to me and say, "Hey, escort service, huh?" No, man, that's my wife. What? How long have you practiced voodoo?
He's in so much trouble.
I don't. Okay, so you're worth like $200 million? No, man, like 12,000. But if I was worth $200 million, I would refuse to pay for her LASIK surgery. I'm not gonna do it. And you know what? On second thought, look at me. I've got a lot to offer a woman who's freakishly nearsighted. Totally. I do.
Thanks, honey.
Sometimes when I have these conversations with people, I lose my confidence. I'll come home and say, "Honey, why do you like me?" And she'll say, "Oh, I just love it when you sit on the floor and play blocks with our little boys." No, honey, why do you like me? She'll say, "Well, I've never said it before, but I find it delicious when you roll up the sleeves of your business shirt and aggressively wash the dishes." Okay, nice clothes, dishes, anything else? She says, "Well, yeah. Gives me the vapors when you park backwards." Okay, that's a euphemism, right? And she says, "No, I like it when you back the car into a parking space." You like how I park? And then the little troll in the back of my head said, "Man, you gotta use what you've got." So I said, "Okay, honey, hold on to your hat, because next time we're gonna parallel park." And she slugs my arm and says, "Don't talk like that in front of the kids." Sorry. And so yeah, we have 3 beautiful children, as was mentioned, and the fun part is they were all born before the oldest turned 3. In hockey, they call that a hat trick. And when you have kids at that frequency, you learn some life lessons. First, what I learned is women are very excited the first time they learn they're pregnant. For the most part, there are some pregnancies where it's due to some Jägermeister and some poor choices on an unforgettable weekend during spring break that she could barely remember. But those are the outliers. My wife, pep rally excited. I mean, she got the pom-poms, the miniskirt, the high heels. It's not important. She was very excited about that first baby. And a few months later, we had my firstborn son, Zach, and everything was great. Then another life lesson came along. Some people still believe that if you're breastfeeding, you cannot become pregnant. This is bogus. We didn't believe that necessarily. We just didn't do any contraception leading up to the first, so we didn't think it would come so fast. And then my wife came out of the bathroom crying with a pregnancy test in hand. Oh, honey, it's going to be fine. I hugged her. We're going to be broke. But it's going to be fine. And it was. A few months later, we had my second-born son, Jordan. And then another life lesson came along. We changed our tactics with the contraception. We took what's called the mini pill. The brand name is Camilla. And how Camilla works is it gives you the contraceptive effect and still allows you to breastfeed without the hormone getting into the baby, which is something we wanted, which is great. The problem with Camilla is if you stop breastfeeding right now, by the time dessert is over, if you don't switch to a normal birth control tablet, you're more fertile than the Optimum. So a few weeks later, my wife came out of the restroom again, holding 2 pregnancy tests, you have to be sure. She threw them in the garbage and pointed to the sky, addressing God, and did the best Zool impression from Ghostbusters I've ever heard. Male or female, didn't matter. It better be a girl. And the heavens shook. And we in fact conceived and bore a female, which was good. And even though I lobbied for it, we did not name her Camilla. We called her Sadie. And if it could have gone differently, if it was a boy, you'd have turned your TV set on that night, and the news anchor would have said, "Beautiful young mother from central Utah strangled God today." It's very sad. It's one of those things where her lawyer will argue it as a crime of passion. You hate to report on this kind of thing as an anchor. In other news, the Jazz still suck balls. In musical terms, They swing like a bunch of square white Mormons. They are bad. Hopefully they'll get a good draft pick next year. And that's just how reporters are. They're so callous when reporting on my jams. Now, when you have kids, you get to answer questions. You normally get to answer. So I had my son, we were going down to Las Vegas, and he said, Daddy, yeah, buddy, how come the stars don't twinkle here? How do you explain that to a 4-year-old? I'm like, well, buddy, in Las Vegas, the stars are always drunk in a bar. They just don't have a chance, to perform normally. Or when my wife was pregnant with our daughter, my oldest son said, Daddy, you said we were having a baby. Where's the baby? Baby's in Mama's tummy. Fear fell over his face. Mom ate the baby? That's how it is raising kids. I mean, I'll come home from work, and I don't know if it's going to be the best day in the life of Brett, or if my wife's just had it and starts legislating from the hip. All right! From now on, everyone in here has to sit down to feed. Everybody. I don't know what's going to happen. So it's kind of exciting. I came home one day, and the kitchen was wrecked. I mean, I didn't know if hell broke loose or if my kids found the gate to hell and let the demons out to start the apocalypse in my kitchen. Wasn't sure. I mean, there were eggs strewn from breakfast. So I started with the oldest. Dad, get in here. He runs in. Hey, buddy. Knuckles. High five. Yeah, hug, kid. Okay, listen. This room's a disaster. What happened? He says, what do you mean? The eggs, they're all over. What happened? Oh, that was an accident. An accident. I don't think you understand. What? Holy sheetrock, what happened to my wall? He says, what do you mean? This morning when I left, it was perfect. Now I can read the warning label on the insulation. Why can Daddy do this? Because you know English. Why is there a hole in the wall, boy? Oh, that was an accident. And I would have torn into him, but then I noticed the baby girl, naked, smearing yogurt all over herself. Just a minute, clean this up. So he got a broom like a good boy and started sweeping up the eggs. We'll teach him that later. So I pick her up and she's nasty by the hole. And she's got the yogurt and dirt and hair and feathers. We don't have any animals with feathers. I bet it was an accident. So bring her to the sink and start spraying her off. And my second-born son, Jordan, starts tugging on my leg. Daddy. Hold on, boy, I'm cleaning your sister. Daddy. Just a minute. I'm cleaning Sadie. Just a minute. Daddy. What? I love you. I love you too, boy. But you almost died right there. And now, thanks to your brother, we're going to be walking on eggshells all day. You people do not... Hey, speaking of walking on eggshells, where's your mom? I found their mother sitting on the lid of the toilet seat facing hands. Knocked on the door frame. Hey, honey, how was your day? And she looked up at me, and she had this ability to make the stuff in my stomach boil like a teapot. And my first thought was, oh, you're not pregnant, are you? She said, oh, no. Oh, good. I mean, tell me all about it. And she just kind of, I think I need 5 of me. That's a pretty good idea. I've actually thought a couple of times myself. What? How? And she says, how could you say something like that? Because it was an accident. I'm going to go. I'm going to go put my tuxedo on and start washing the dishes. Take time.